Seneca once said, "A man who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary." And when it comes to attraction, most men suffer from one thing: overthinking. They hesitate, they second-guess, and they let doubt kill their confidence. But the Stoics understood something powerful. Women are drawn to men who know who they are and move through life with certainty. Attraction isn't a mystery. It's not about tricks, games, or chasing. It's about mastering the traits that make you magnetic. Today, I'll give you 7 powerful traits that instantly draw women to you, are backed by psychology, Stoic wisdom, and raw human nature. Watch till the end because every chapter builds on the last one. And if this resonates with you, hit like, subscribe, and share your story in the comments. Let's get into it. Chapter 1. Direct and decisive. Women respect and desire men who take the lead. Period. A man who can make decisions without hesitation signals strength, and strength is attractive. Think about it. When a man hesitates, constantly asks for permission, or overanalyzes every move, what does that tell her? It screams weakness. It tells her that he doesn't trust himself, and if he doesn't trust himself, why should she? When a man is decisive, he eliminates uncertainty. This isn't about being controlling or disregarding a woman's opinions, it's about having the confidence to take initiative. Women are naturally drawn to men who have direction, who move with purpose, and who know what they want without second-guessing themselves at every turn. When you hesitate, you introduce doubt, not just in your own mind, but in hers as well. And doubt is a major turn-off. Being direct doesn't mean being rude or aggressive. It doesn't mean barking orders or acting superior. It means you know what you want and you go for it, without waiting for permission. Too many men waste time waiting for the perfect moment, for a sign, for external validation before they make a move. But here's the truth: confidence is a choice. You don't need permission to step up and lead. Instead of waiting for her to drop hints that she's interested, you ask her out directly. Instead of endlessly debating where to go for dinner, you make a decision and tell her the plan. Instead of saying, "I don't know, what do you want to do?" which places the burden of leadership on her, you take charge. You say, "Let's do this," with certainty. That certainty is powerful. Women find men who are sure of themselves attractive because it removes doubt from their minds. Confidence is calming. Indecision is stressful. When a man is firm in his choices, it makes a woman feel secure. She doesn't have to wonder where she stands with him because he makes it clear. And that clarity, that assurance, is what makes her feel safe and drawn to him. Consider this: a man who is unsure, constantly second-guessing himself, or needing external approval creates an atmosphere of insecurity. If you don't believe in yourself, why should she? Women don't want to mother a grown man. They don't want to be put in the position of making all the decisions while you sit back and follow. They want a partner who leads, not in a way that dominates, but in a way that inspires. This is why women are naturally drawn to leaders, entrepreneurs, and men with a mission. They see a man who owns his life, who moves forward with purpose, and who isn't afraid to take risks. That level of self-assuredness is intoxicating. It's the reason some men walk into a room and instantly command respect without saying a word. Being direct and decisive doesn't mean you have to be reckless. It doesn't mean you never consider other people's feelings. What it means is that you trust yourself enough to make decisions without getting stuck in analysis paralysis. You don't let fear of making the wrong choice paralyze you into inaction. Instead, you weigh the options, make a call, and stand by it. If you're wrong, you adjust. You don't dwell, you don't apologize for existing, you simply correct course and keep moving forward. Men who live this way naturally attract high-quality women because they exude certainty. And certainty is rare. In a world full of men who hesitate, who constantly seek validation, who need to be told what to do, the man who confidently makes his own choices stands out. He's the one who inspires trust, who earns respect, and who effortlessly commands attraction. So, be that man. Be the kind of man who decides. Take the lead in your life, in your interactions, in your relationships. The world, and the women in it, will respond accordingly. Chapter 2. The Protector Instinct. Every woman, on a deep biological level, is wired to seek protection. This isn't just about physical safety, it's about emotional, psychological, and financial security. Women are naturally drawn to men who provide a sense of stability, who create an environment where she can relax, feel safe, and trust that she's in good hands. This isn't weakness, it's biology. It's human nature. A woman doesn't want a bodyguard, nor does she necessarily need a millionaire. What she craves is certainty. Certainty that you can handle yourself, that you won't fold under pressure, that you're a man who can be counted on. This is why men who are calm, collected, and unshaken by external chaos naturally command attention. They provide an unspoken security, the kind that tells a woman, "I've got this. No matter what happens, I can handle it." That's power. That's magnetism. In a world where most men are fragile, emotionally reactive, and easily swayed by their environment, the man who stands firm is a rare breed. The man who doesn't crumble under stress, who doesn't let his emotions dictate his actions, who remains steady even when life throws punches, that man is irresistible. Because when a woman sees a man who can handle his own problems, she instinctively knows that he can handle hers too. She doesn't have to second-guess his ability to lead. She doesn't have to wonder if he'll break when things get difficult. She knows he won't. This is also why integrity matters more than most men realize. A man who does what he says he will do, who keeps his word, who follows through on his commitments, he builds an unshakable sense of trust. Women aren't just attracted to words, they're attracted to actions. A man who consistently shows up, who doesn't make excuses, who operates with discipline and reliability, that man becomes dependable. And dependability is rare. In a world full of empty promises and weak men who can't follow through, a man with integrity is a beacon of strength. But protection goes beyond just mental and emotional strength. Financial stability plays a crucial role. Not because women are gold diggers, but because competence is attractive. A man who has his finances in order signals discipline, capability, and the ability to take care of himself. It's not about being rich, it's about being capable. A man who manages his money well, who isn't drowning in debt, who isn't financially reckless, is demonstrating that he has control over his life. And a man who has control over his life is a man women respect. Think about it, a man who is constantly stressed about money, who can't pay his bills, who lives paycheck to paycheck with no plan, that man exudes uncertainty. He's not secure in himself, and that insecurity bleeds into every aspect of his interactions. A woman feels it. She might not say it outright, but deep down, she knows that a man who can't take care of himself can't provide the security she instinctively craves. Again, it's not about wealth, it's about competence. But even more than financial stability, a man's emotional strength is what truly sets him apart. A man who can regulate his emotions, who doesn't lash out in anger, who doesn't get defensive at every little thing, that man is powerful. Emotional control isn't just about staying calm under pressure, it's about not needing external validation to feel secure. It's about being internally grounded. A man who doesn't let rejection shake him, who doesn't let a woman's moods dictate his own, who remains stable even when things get difficult, that man is rare. And that man is unforgettable. When a woman knows that no matter what happens, you won't lose control, that you won't break down, that you won't become needy or unstable, that's when she truly relaxes. That's when she trusts you. And trust is the foundation of deep attraction. A woman can be physically drawn to a man, but if she senses emotional instability, she will never fully commit. Because deep down, she knows that an unstable man is a risk. And women don't take risks when it comes to their security. So what does this mean for you? It means you have to become a man who embodies strength in all its forms. Not just physically, but emotionally, financially, and mentally. You need to be the man who can take a hit, whether it's in life, in business, or in relationships, and keep moving forward without flinching. You need to be the man who doesn't need a woman to feel whole, but whose presence makes a woman feel safe. And here's the real secret: when you cultivate this strength for yourself, women naturally notice. You won't have to convince them of your worth. You won't have to prove yourself. Your presence will speak for itself. You will radiate the kind of certainty that women instinctively recognize and respect. Be that man. Not for her. Not for validation. But for yourself. Build your mental toughness. Strengthen your discipline. Master your emotions. Take control of your finances. Develop unshakable integrity. Become the kind of man who doesn't just say he can handle life, be the man who shows it through his actions. Do this, and you won't have to chase attraction. It will come to you. Chapter 3: Unshakable Purpose. A man with purpose is a man women chase. Period. It's not about having the flashiest career or the most ambitious goals. It's about being committed to something bigger than yourself. Purpose is the foundation of masculine energy. It gives you direction, drive, and a sense of mission that no woman, no setback, and no distraction can shake. Men without purpose drift through life aimlessly. They live reactively rather than proactively. They chase pleasure, they seek constant validation, they cling to women, and they rely on relationships to give them a sense of identity. This is the fastest way to repel a woman. Nothing is less attractive than a man who needs a woman to feel complete. Women don't want to be the center of your world. They want to enter a world you've already built. They don't respect a man who orbits around them. They want a man who's moving forward, with or without them. When you have a purpose, you operate differently. You don't have time to waste on mindless distractions. You don't text her every 5 minutes because you're too busy grinding, creating, and pushing toward something meaningful. You don't sit around waiting for her responses because your time is already occupied with building your future. This isn't about playing games, it's about having an internal focus so strong that you naturally become scarce. And when you're scarce, you become valuable. Women notice when a man isn't desperate for attention, and paradoxically, that's what makes them crave his. Purpose doesn't just make you attractive, it makes you indestructible. A man whose life revolves around a woman will fall apart the moment she pulls away. He'll beg, he'll chase, he'll lose control, and in doing so, he'll lose her respect. But a man with purpose? He keeps moving forward no matter what. A breakup doesn't destroy him because his life was never centered on her in the first place. A rejection doesn't faze him because he's not seeking approval, he's chasing a higher goal. And that level of emotional control, that ability to keep going, is intoxicating to women. Think of the men who command respect in any room. They aren't the ones desperately seeking approval. They aren't the ones obsessing over relationships. They are the ones so deeply invested in their mission that everything else becomes secondary. They radiate a sense of direction that makes them different from the average man. This is the essence of masculine polarity, the magnetic pull that makes women want to be around you, not because you need them, but because you don't. But here's the truth: purpose isn't something you define, it's something you choose. Too many men sit around waiting for inspiration to strike, waiting to discover some grand passion that will suddenly give their life meaning. That's a mistake. Purpose is built through action. You start by doing something, anything, that challenges you, improves you, and forces you to grow. Maybe it's mastering a skill. Maybe it's building a business. Maybe it's pushing your body to new limits. Whatever it is, the key is commitment. Half-hearted effort leads to half-hearted results, and women can feel when a man isn't fully invested in his own life. A man with purpose doesn't let women, setbacks, or distractions derail him. He sets goals, he executes, he adapts, and he keeps moving forward, no matter what. And because of that, he naturally attracts the right people, including women, into his life. He doesn't chase attention because he is the attention. His energy, his focus, his presence make him someone women want to be around. So ask yourself, what are you building? What are you working toward? If you can't answer that question with absolute certainty, then that's your priority. Before you expect any woman to take you seriously, before you expect attraction to work in your favor, before you wonder why she's not texting back, get your purpose locked in. Because when you do, the whole game changes. You won't need to chase women. They'll recognize your energy, respect your direction, and naturally want to be part of your world. And if they don't, you won't care. Because your mission will always be bigger than any one person. Chapter 4: Intelligence. Smart men win. Not just in business, not just in personal development, but in attraction. A sharp mind is one of the most powerful assets a man can have. Women crave intellectual stimulation. They aren't just looking for a man who can make them laugh or show them a good time, they want someone who can make them think. A man with depth, with curiosity, with a perspective that stands out from the crowd. But intelligence isn't just about having an impressive vocabulary or knowing random facts. It's about applying knowledge in a way that makes you more effective in life. It's about social intelligence, understanding the dynamics of human interaction, knowing when to assert yourself and when to hold back. It's about emotional intelligence, reading between the lines, sensing unspoken tensions, knowing how to make people feel understood. A man who lacks these skills, no matter how book-smart he is, will always fall short. But a man who can read a room, who knows when to speak and when to listen, who understands people and their emotions, that man is irresistible. Women don't just want a man who can impress them with knowledge, they want a man who can engage them with ideas. A man who isn't predictable. A man who can challenge their perspectives, introduce them to new ways of thinking, and make them feel like every conversation is an adventure. The reason most men fail in attraction isn't that they aren't good-looking or successful enough, it's because they're boring. They recycle the same dull conversations, never ask deep questions, and never provoke curiosity. But the man who can make a woman feel something through words, that man stays in her mind long after the conversation ends. A woman's attraction to intelligence is deeply wired into psychology. A man who is intelligent signals competence, problem-solving ability, and the potential to lead. It's not about showing off, it's about demonstrating that you understand the world, that you can think critically, and that you can offer insights that others can't. Intelligence creates intrigue, and intrigue creates attraction. When a woman is drawn into a conversation with a man who genuinely knows his stuff, not in an arrogant way, but in a way that adds value, she naturally wants more. Confidence and intelligence go hand in hand. The more you learn, the more confident you become in your ability to navigate life. You don't second-guess yourself when making decisions. You don't get intimidated by challenges. You don't shy away from conversations because you always have something meaningful to contribute. And when intelligence is backed by confidence, it becomes a force that women can't ignore. Developing intelligence isn't just about reading books, it's about questioning everything. It's about staying curious, diving into different subjects, learning to think critically, and understanding how the world works. It's about mastering conversation, learning how to keep discussions engaging, knowing how to be articulate without being pretentious. A well-spoken man with a sharp mind can captivate a woman with words alone. He doesn't need gimmicks, flashy possessions, or over-the-top displays of dominance. His intelligence is his attraction. If you want to stand out, start cultivating your mind. Read more. Question things. Develop opinions that aren't just regurgitated from social media or mainstream narratives. Learn to express yourself clearly and confidently. Master the art of conversation, because when you do, you'll notice something interesting. Women will start leaning in when you speak. They'll hold on to your words. They'll look at you differently. That's the power of intelligence. It's not just about knowing things, it's about making an impact with what you know. And when you master that, you won't need to chase attraction. It will come to you. Chapter 5. Science-backed attraction triggers. Attraction isn't some mysterious force, it's deeply rooted in human psychology. The way people respond to each other is influenced by millions of years of evolution, subconscious cues, and social conditioning. When a woman feels drawn to a man, it's not random. There are specific traits and behaviors that spark attraction on a deep, almost primal level. And the men who understand these triggers, whether consciously or instinctively, position themselves as naturally attractive without even trying. One of the most overlooked aspects of attraction is the power of subtle signals. A woman rarely walks up to a man and declares her interest outright. Instead, she communicates through body language, micro-expressions, and small gestures. The problem is that most men are completely oblivious to these cues. They miss the way she holds eye contact for just a little longer than necessary, the way she tilts her head when she listens, the way her smile lingers even after the conversation has shifted. These aren't coincidences. They are signs of engagement, indicators of attraction that, when noticed and reciprocated, create a natural and effortless chemistry. Beyond subtle signals, attraction is also deeply tied to how a man presents himself in the world. Status plays a significant role, and it's not just about wealth, it's about stability. A man who has control over his finances, his career, and his future is far more appealing than one who drifts through life without direction. Women instinctively seek security, not just in a financial sense, but in the confidence and capability that come with it. A man who knows where he's going, who has a plan, who moves with purpose, he stands out in a sea of uncertainty. This kind of stability creates an aura of reliability that women find undeniably attractive. Physical presentation also plays a crucial role in attraction, and science backs it up. Facial hair, for example, has been studied extensively, and research suggests that well-groomed stubble is often the perfect balance between rugged masculinity and refined appearance. It signals maturity, strength, and a level of effortless confidence that clean-shaven or overly bearded looks sometimes fail to convey. Similarly, fitness matters, not in the sense of extreme bodybuilding, but in the display of functional strength. A man who is fit, who carries himself with strength and agility, exudes an energy of vitality. Women are naturally drawn to men who look capable, who can handle themselves physically, who give off the impression of power without excess. Surprisingly, psychology also plays a role in how small, everyday behaviors influence attraction. Kindness, for example, has been shown to make men appear significantly more attractive. This is due to the halo effect, where positive traits like generosity, warmth, and compassion enhance a person's overall desirability. A man who treats people well, who exudes a quiet confidence through his actions, naturally becomes more appealing in a woman's eyes. It's not about being overly nice or a pushover, it's about demonstrating a kind of strength that doesn't rely on arrogance or dominance to command attention. Even something as simple as the color of a man's clothing can impact attraction. Studies have shown that men who wear red are perceived as more dominant and desirable. Red has long been associated with power, status, and confidence. It's a subtle psychological trick, but one that can make a difference in how a man is perceived. The way a man dresses, the way he carries himself, the effort he puts into his personal image, all of it contributes to the subconscious signals that influence attraction. Attraction is not random, and it's not about luck. It's a combination of biological instincts, psychological triggers, and social perception. The men who understand this don't leave attraction to chance, they use it to their advantage. They refine their image, develop their confidence, and make deliberate choices that enhance their presence. They understand that attraction isn't something you wait for, it's something you create. Chapter 6: Emotional Control. A man who can't control his emotions is a man who can't control his life. It's that simple. Your emotions dictate your reactions, and your reactions dictate your outcomes. A man who allows himself to be ruled by frustration, anger, or insecurity is a man who will constantly find himself at the mercy of circumstances. He will be easily manipulated, easily provoked, and easily thrown off balance. And nothing kills attraction faster than a man who lacks control over himself. A man who lacks emotional control is like a ship without a rudder, completely at the mercy of the wind and waves, tossed around by external forces with no direction of his own. He may not realize it, but every time he lets his emotions dictate his actions, he gives away his power. And power, once lost, is difficult to regain. Women test men constantly, not out of malice, but out of necessity. They need to know that you are steady, that you can handle pressure, and that you won't crumble when things get tough. This isn't a conscious game they play, it's instinctive. A woman needs to feel safe with a man, and safety comes from emotional stability. If she senses that you're quick to anger, easily flustered, or overly sensitive to small issues, she will start to lose respect. And once that respect begins to erode, attraction follows. Think about it. If you explode in anger over minor inconveniences, what does that say about your ability to handle real challenges? If you break down emotionally when faced with difficulty, how can she trust that you'll be strong when it really matters? If you get defensive every time she questions you, how can she believe that you're truly confident? A man who can't regulate his emotions will always struggle, not just in relationships, but in every aspect of life. When a woman sees that a man is emotionally unstable, even in small ways, she starts to question his ability to handle bigger issues. If you get irritated over a slow response to a text, if you sulk when things don't go your way, if you react impulsively out of jealousy or insecurity, these are all signs that you are emotionally weak. An emotional weakness repels attraction faster than almost anything else. Now, contrast that with a man who has complete control over himself. A man who doesn't flinch when things don't go as planned. A man who remains composed when faced with pressure. A man who doesn't let temporary emotions dictate long-term decisions. This kind of man exudes strength, stability, and control. He doesn't need to convince anyone of his power, his actions speak for themselves. True confidence doesn't come from pretending to be strong. It comes from mastering yourself. It means knowing that no matter what happens, whether she pulls away, whether someone disrespects you, whether life throws unexpected obstacles in your path, you stay calm. You don't react impulsively. You don't panic. You don't let temporary emotions dictate your long-term decisions. When a woman sees that you are unshaken in the face of difficulty, that you maintain your composure even when things don't go your way, she feels drawn to you. Not just because you appear strong, but because you are strong. Emotional control is the ultimate form of discipline. It is the ability to feel emotions fully without being enslaved by them. It is knowing when to walk away instead of escalating a conflict. It is choosing to respond with thoughtfulness instead of reacting out of impulse. It is remaining steady and unshaken even when the world around you is chaotic. And that kind of control makes a man untouchable. Imagine two men in the same situation. One loses his temper, lashes out, and lets his frustration take control. The other acknowledges his emotions but remains composed, responding with measured, deliberate action. Which man do you think commands more respect? Which man do you think a woman will gravitate toward? The answer is obvious. Emotional control is power. And power is attractive. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or pretending they don't exist. It means mastering them. It means recognizing when anger, fear, or insecurity arises and choosing not to let them control you. It means responding, not reacting. It means staying grounded, no matter what. When you reach this level of control, you become unshakable. And that kind of presence is magnetic. There will always be moments in life that test you. A difficult conversation. A situation that feels unfair. A challenge that pushes you to your limits. In those moments, most men let their emotions take over. They react out of frustration, anger, or insecurity, and they make decisions they later regret. But the man who masters his emotions remains composed. He doesn't get flustered. He doesn't get pulled into emotional battles that drain his energy. He stays above the noise, always in control. A man with emotional control is a man who can navigate the chaos of life with clarity and purpose. He doesn't allow external forces to dictate his inner state. He doesn't give away his power to fleeting emotions. He remains steady, no matter the situation. And that steadiness is what makes him truly powerful. When you cultivate this level of self-mastery, you don't just gain a woman's respect, you gain the respect of everyone around you. You become the man that others look up to. The man that women feel safe with. The man that can handle anything life throws his way. Most men will never reach this level of control. They will continue to react impulsively, to get caught up in temporary emotions, to let circumstances dictate their actions. But the man who masters himself? He becomes unstoppable. And that kind of man doesn't chase respect, attraction, or power. Those things come to him effortlessly. Because when you control your emotions, you control your life. And that is the foundation of true strength. Chapter 7, Confidence, the Ultimate Magnet. Confidence isn't just important, it's everything. It's the unshakable force that defines how you carry yourself, how you interact with the world, and ultimately, how others perceive you. A truly confident man doesn't just enter a room, he changes its energy. His presence is undeniable, not because he demands attention, but because his very being commands it. Confidence isn't about arrogance or boasting. It's not about pretending to be something you're not or inflating your ego to compensate for insecurity. True confidence is quiet, steady, and unshakable. It's the certainty that you are enough, not because someone told you so, but because you've decided it for yourself. This kind of confidence makes people stop and take notice. It's the reason why some men, despite not being the richest, tallest, or most conventionally attractive, still have a gravitational pull that draws women toward them effortlessly. Women don't fall for superficial qualities like looks, money, or even charm as much as they fall for certainty. Certainty in who you are. Certainty in what you stand for. Certainty in how you move through the world. When a man knows himself, embraces his strengths, and accepts his flaws without hesitation, he creates an aura of stability that is incredibly attractive. This kind of confidence is magnetic. It reassures a woman that she's dealing with a man who doesn't waver in his identity. And that, more than anything, makes her feel safe, drawn in, and deeply connected. Think about the men who naturally command attention. They aren't necessarily the loudest. They don't try too hard. They simply exist with an unshakable sense of self. They don't seek approval because they don't need it. They don't look around to see if others accept them because their self-worth isn't dependent on external validation. And because they don't seek approval, they naturally receive it. They project a sense of ease, of control, of presence, qualities that make them impossible to ignore. And here's the ultimate truth: confidence isn't something you're born with. It isn't some mystical trait reserved for the lucky few. Confidence is a choice. It's a mindset. It's a decision you make every single day. You don't need permission to have it. You don't need someone else's validation to build it. You just decide that you are enough, that you are worthy, and that the world doesn't define your value, you do. Too many men think confidence is something they'll develop once they achieve a certain goal, once they make more money, once they build a better body, once they get validation from women. But confidence doesn't work that way. It comes from within, not from external achievements. You don't become confident by waiting for the right circumstances. You become confident by acting as if you already are. It's not about faking it, but about stepping into the version of yourself who knows his worth, who doesn't question his place in the world, who moves with certainty. Owning your confidence means taking full responsibility for yourself. It means standing firm in your beliefs without feeling the need to justify them. It means speaking with conviction, moving with purpose, and never second-guessing your worth. A confident man doesn't need to explain himself. He doesn't need to prove himself to anyone. He simply is. And because he is so sure of himself, others naturally follow. When you fully embrace this mindset, you radiate an energy that draws people in. Women, in particular, are deeply attuned to this. They don't just see confidence, they feel it. And once they feel it, they can't ignore it. A man who truly believes in himself makes a woman feel secure in his presence. She doesn't have to wonder if he's strong enough to handle challenges, if he'll crumble under pressure, or if he'll constantly seek her validation. She knows, just by being near him, that he is steady, that he is certain, that he is exactly who he claims to be. And this is what separates men who struggle to attract women from those who have an effortless magnetism. The first group tries too hard, they overcompensate, they seek attention, they rely on gimmicks. The second group? They simply exist in their power. They walk into a room knowing they belong. They carry themselves like kings, not because they demand respect, but because they respect themselves first. So stand tall. Speak with assurance. Walk like a man who knows he belongs wherever he chooses to be. Own your space. Own your decisions. Own your life. Stop waiting for someone else to tell you you're good enough. Decide that you are. Confidence isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's about knowing, deep in your core, that you have nothing to prove. And when you reach that level of self-assurance, the world, including the women in it, will take notice. The right women, the ones who truly appreciate strength, presence, and unwavering self-belief, will follow. Not because you chased them, not because you begged for their attention, but because confidence is the ultimate magnet. It pulls the right people toward you effortlessly. So step into it fully, without hesitation, and watch as your entire world transforms. Attraction isn't about luck. It's not about tricks, gimmicks, or chasing women. It's about who you are as a man. Women are drawn to men who move through life with confidence, purpose, and strength, men who don't seek approval but command respect effortlessly. If you master these 7 magnetic traits, you won't need to chase. Women will feel drawn to you naturally. Because you're not just another guy trying to impress them, you're the man they can't ignore. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these traits do you think is the most important? Have you experienced this in your own life? Drop a comment below and share your story. And if you found this video valuable, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because this is just the beginning. Until next time, stay strong, stay focused, and never stop improving.